Okay, this is a completely unscripted, like on the fly tutorial. I was thinking really hard about whether or not I wanted to make a tutorial regarding how to set up the how to set up Hotline Miami in Studio and get it running for modification purposes. And I'm gonna show you guys a way that's not technically piracy. I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure keygens probably count as piracy, but if I get a strike on my channel, so be it. I'll take it. If the video gets taken down, that's just how it's going to have to be. And if people need to contact me privately for me to help them set it up and all of that, that's completely fine. And that'll just have to be the way that we do it. But hopefully most people who are watching these tutorials have probably watched Spencer Jan's tutorials already. And have probably already got it set up for the most part, at least I would assume. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into how to set up the Hotline Miami source code with PIOH1s or P1IOH. Or I don't know how to say his fucking name. His port to Studio 1.4.9 of the or just Studio 1.4 in general of the Hotline Miami source code, how to get 1.4.9 and how to get a the universal GameMaker patcher for 1.4.9 and how to use it to patch GameMaker. So let's go ahead and start. So first, I'm gonna leave this link in the description. You're gonna want to go to this video by Lee, and they have made a GameMaker keygen, and they've made something called the UGP, or the Universal GameMaker Patcher. As you can see, I have it right here, and it's pretty amazing. It's made with GameMaker. This is a very, very smart individual right here. They've made a GameMaker patcher and keygen for not just GameMaker Studio 1.4.9 or GameMaker Studio 1, but for all previous versions, for GameMaker 7, GameMaker 8, and pretty much every previous version of GameMaker, or most previous versions of GameMaker that matter. So yeah, it's pretty insane. Go to this video, go to this link, and hopefully it's still up actually, yeah. And then you want to go here, and they have the releases, and you just want to download. Click on ugp.exe to start the download, and it'll download, and I'll go over how to use it in just a second. So make sure you go here and download that. Next thing you want is, of course, just leave a link to it in the description so you don't have to do all that shit, but it'll bring you here. It'll look like this, and yeah, make sure you read all of this. Not an open source project, you can't monetize it, you know, all that shit. You want to go to code, and you want to go download zip, and it'll download everything. There is no, or at least as far as I know, there is no like releases repository. You just want to go straight to code and download the zip, and then everything's here. Because I mean, it's just source code pretty much. There's no need for releases. There's no exe or anything. And yeah, it'll download all of this as a zip, and yeah. So you'll have that, and then finally, to get GameMaker Studio 1.4.9, or just 1.4.9, GameMaker Studio 1.4 download, and I believe you can actually just go, download GameMaker Studio 1.4, and it's going to give you this, and it's going to give you the GM Studio installer 1.4.9, which is the final version of GameMaker Studio 1.4, and you're going to want to download that. I'll leave the link here. Just make sure you go down here and click GameMaker Studio 1.4, and then run the setup. And once you run the setup, it's going to install, and you can open it and everything, but you're not going to be able to... Whoops, sorry, this is something else I've been looking at, my bad. Trying to get some sound files from this game, but anyways, that's off topic. You're gonna open it, and it's gonna run and everything, but you'll probably notice that unless you have like an old license key from like way back when, like 6 or 9 or I don't know how many years at this point, very many years ago, you're not going to be able to get the full version. You're going to be stuck with the shitty trial version that doesn't let you save and locks you out of a bunch of features, and that's what the Universal GameMaker Patcher is for. So basically, once you have GameMaker Studio open, just go ahead and close it, and you're going to want to run, and I think this is going to start up with some sound, but you're going to want to run... Okay, if I can mute it there. So as you can see, it'll bring it up. You can go down here and click this to mute it, and it'll bring up Universal GameMaker Patcher. Select which product to crack, and obviously, I mean, if you have any other trial version of GameMaker, you can crack these versions if you want. But anyways, you want to click Studio 1.x, and this is Studio 1, and you want to click that. And I'm not gonna do it because I've already patched mine, but here you can even add different modules. There's HTML5, iOS, Android, Amazon, Mac, Tizen, Windows, Linux, Windows Phone, Windows 8, PS3, PS4, PS Vita, Xbox One. Like, you can even add like 3DS if you wanted. So yeah, it'll give you all these export modules. And this I has very well. He'll explain it in the video, but this I has very old GMS. Is just if you have a very. I mean, you don't need to click this. This is just if you have a very old version of GameMaker Studio, but you're not. You're gonna have the latest version, so there's not really any reason to click this. The email, you can go ahead and you might. I don't think it matters, but you might click through this a little bit. This key and answer, like, key is obviously the key. Email is the email it'll be. And I'm not sure exactly what answer pertains to, but I would just click through all of it to make sure that, and yeah, you can set the email to whatever. But yeah, I would just click through all of it to make sure it works correctly and doesn't fuck up or give you something that's already registered. I don't think it matters. I think it literally just patches it either way. So even if you get the same key as someone else, I don't think it matters in the end. But yeah, it's going to download all the export modules and use a cracked version of this DLL. You're going to want both of these. And then once you're done, just click go. And yeah, it'll basically do all that for you. It should crack your version of GameMaker Studio. It should say, it'll bring some shit up here and tell you it's completed and that it cracked it successfully. And then just go ahead and click escape to exit. And once you do all of that and open GameMaker Studio 1.4, it should open up like this, and there shouldn't be any shit that tells you that you have a trial version that you need to put in a key. It should just bring up this pretty much, and then you're gonna want to go to open, and you're gonna want to browse, and you're gonna want to find where you saved hotlinemiami.gmx.master or /master, and of course if it's still in the zip file, you're gonna want to unzip it somewhere to the point where it's just a regular folder, and then you want to open it. And then double click this hotlinemiami.project.gmx, and that will open that'll open Hotline Miami. So I'll go ahead and open mine. And once that's all done, it should open just like this. You can view all the sprites for Jacket. Everything is here. As you can see, it's loading for me, so it's not gonna show everything correctly, but as you can see, it is all here. It does all work. And I could even run the game just to show you. But yeah, you can save now. You can mess with this as much as you want and save it. You can open up SPR weapons and get to work with the other tutorials on adding new weapons and things of that nature. And yeah, resource searching works, string searching works, everything, all the whole 9 yards. And I'll go ahead and run it real quick just to show you that it does indeed work. Alright, so hopefully it's not too loud and you can still hear my voice pretty well. But yeah, as you can see, the game does run, does work. We can go into chapters, and one more thing. You might notice that the game is running a bit slower than usual, and I will give you a fix for that in just a second. But if we go into like Decadence here, for instance, give it a moment. And yeah, as you can see, the game is running a lot slower than usual. And that is because of Windows 10 and yeah, that's because of Windows 10 and the way that it works with GameMaker. And I'll explain it in a second here. Anyways, this is not a Hotline Miami playthrough. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, as you can see, the game is running significantly slower than usual. So if we go ahead and quit out, exit the game, there is a fix for that I will give you right now. Let me just look through my files for a moment here. Here it is. I'm a retard. Here it is. By Skyflugel. GMSCHED or Shed, or however you pronounce it. Basically, an issue, it's explained right here. I have like the memory of a goldfish, so I couldn't explain it very well while I was playing Hotline. But it's basically explained right here why this happens on Windows 10. Every 16 milliseconds at 60 FPS, GameMaker will perform the necessary calculations for one frame and wait for the next 16 millisecond interval. The way this waiting happens is the problem. You can call a function in Windows to sleep for a certain amount of time in a power efficient manner. However, this sleep function is not very accurate. For this reason, GameMaker will take the time remaining until that next 16 millisecond interval, subtract the sleep margin, and sleep for that amount of time. For the rest of the interval, it continuously checks whether the time has elapsed, i.e. it busy waits. This uses 100% of one CPU core. So yeah, that pretty much explains it for you right there, why it's going to run incredibly slowly, and yeah, it's definitely not very good for your computer either. So you're going to want to go ahead and download this, and there should be a... this is the source code. Did he put it? Oh yeah, here we go, releases. You're going to want to click that releases. I'll leave a link just straight to it. And you're going to want to just click gmsched.gmez. And it's literally as simple as opening Hotline and just dragging it and dropping it in. And it'll come up with a loading screen, and you can drag it and drop it in again to ensure that it's been applied. So as you can see, extension already exists. So that's how you know it's applied. And we'll go ahead and save so that I can both show you that saving does indeed work, and also that this script works. So it'll also decrease the compilation time a lot as well, I do believe, but that might just be me. But as you can see, the game runs perfectly now. If we go back into Decadence, Decadence is my favorite level. If you couldn't tell, everything runs perfectly now. There's no lag. It's just Hotline Miami. And yeah, the game does indeed run, as it should. Anyways, you guys don't need to see me do a full playthrough of Decadence there. But yeah, that's the setup out of the way. Hopefully this video doesn't get striked or anything for piracy or anything of that nature. I don't think it should. Just hopefully, you know, here's hoping. And yeah, hopefully this video was clear and concise. And hopefully this helps you get Hotline Miami set up in the studio. And if anyone needs any further help, feel free to ask in the comments. I will reply. And yeah, if you need like very serious, like further like private help, I do ask that you try and resolve it in the comments with me first. But you can always ask me for my Discord, and I'll give you my Discord so that I can help you privately if we really need to. But yeah,